Hello everyone and welcome to Magic and Musings. My name is Candice, and before we go ahead and do a review, or not really a review, more like a reveal of the cards, a flip through of the Angel Answers deck by Radley Valentine. If this video resonates with you, or if the space resonates with you, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of more videos that I post. I do have a lot of decks that I'd like to do flip throughs with, so that is the goal until I get through all the decks, and then hopefully I can get some new ones. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So this deck is a deck that I've not resonated with at all. That's just me personally. I think a lot of people do use this and they get a lot of value out of it. But personally, I'm ready to rehome this because it does not get used whatsoever. And I've only used it a handful of times. So it's a 44 card deck and guidebook by Radley Valentine, artwork by Marius Michael George. And at the back it says simple, trustworthy, and direct advice. Yeah, I guess one of the reasons, it's published by Hay House too, by the way. So I guess the reason why I don't resonate with this deck is because I don't feel that that's how I do obviously resonate with divination and receiving using cards, oracle cards and tarot cards as a means to receive information from spirit, from self, however you want to phrase that. However, I don't feel like it's as direct as they make it out to be, because that is not how, I don't feel this is how this works personally. I think a lot of other people might have some different perspectives, but I do feel that what happens when we use decks like this, and again, this is only my direct reflection, this is or experience with this type of thing and these cards, and having done oracle cards for a long time for myself and clients and friends and other people, again, take what you need from this and leave the rest, but I do feel that it disempowers us to I think that's basically what I'm trying to say, or what's been trying to be said, is that if there is an aspect of disempowering that whole process and trusting ourselves for the answer as opposed to trusting a deck of cards. Now, some might say, yeah, but you're using oracle cards and tarot cards. What's the difference? I don't know. I can't speak for every other reader out there, or whatever it is that you want to call me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for myself that using oracle and using tarot is very much an intentional process, and it's more used as a mirror, as a reflection, as a spotlight to how our shadow can. It's not really about, how does this want to be said? It's more about unraveling pretty much the premise of the space. Unraveling from mind, integrating shadow, and cultivating self-awareness. And I feel like decks like this, again, I've only used it a handful of times, so I'm not really seeing how it can be used in the way that I use oracle cards and tarot. But I want to give you my honest perspective on this, so this is why I'm speaking, why I'm saying all these things. But I don't feel that it allows us to look at the deeper aspects of ourselves. It's just giving us straight up, it literally says, simple, trustworthy, and direct advice. So we're seeking outside of ourselves. We're not going within and trusting that not only will we get that we will get the answers that that we seek. It might not be the answers that we want, but there will be clarity, but there is a process of trust and timing as well. So the other aspect of this, the other thing that I want to say about this is, again, honest review. When we utilize cards like this that give us time, so say, for example, you're listening to a reading or you're wanting an answer, usually we want to know the timing. And with this deck, I know there's an aspect of timing. Once we, say for example, you're listening to a reading or you're giving yourself a reading and you're asking a question and it says this thing is going to happen in 1 to 2 weeks, and it doesn't happen, then it can create a lot of unnecessary suffering, unnecessary attachment to outcome. And I do feel that that takes away from self, from being, because we're wanting it to happen within a certain time frame. And most of us know that time is an illusion. Time is a concept. We might only understand that on a conceptual level, but time does not exist. We perceive that it does, and I guess, you know, that's anyway, I don't want to go on any more about that. I haven't actually divided these cards up. So this particular deck, and I'm just doing that now, this is what happens when you try to do spontaneous deck reviews. In all transparency, I haven't read the guidebook. I usually don't tend to, although it can be exceptionally helpful. And I've read I've watched a couple of reviews where they do go through the guidebook, and I do feel like if that is something you want to do, then by all means do it. I haven't. I don't think I've ever read a guidebook, and that's okay, because that's just my process. Everyone's going to have their different process. So, you know, it might be a good idea to read up on or watch reviews that do go through guidebooks if that is your thing. But what I do know is that this deck has 3 parts to it. So we have timing cards. Let's see. So we've got these answer cards. I think that's what they're called. Oh my God. The most unprofessional deck flip through. So we've got answer cards. So they're represented by these purple borders. We've got timing cards. So they're the yellow ones. And then we've got the purple, what would this be? Dark purple. And that's the yes or no, maybe, stop, like the quick messages. So I think the way these are meant to be used is they're meant to be used separately. I do see a lot of people using them together. So that's the guidebook there. Not a very big book, and the answers are quite direct. Like they're 2 pages long. There's not too much information on this deck. There's a couple of pages. So yeah, your answer oracles are designed to be grouped into 3 types of cards: angel messages, timing cards, and yes and no cards. Divide those cards now into 3 categories. You'll want to keep your cards in separate piles for your readings. Right. So yeah. And then it goes into some spreads you can use, and then blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So what I'll do is I will show you what the cards look like do a proper flip through, and then I'll pull some cards at the end to show you kind of what I mean about utilizing cards like this to get a particular answer. I do feel the same way about what's that tool, the pendulum, you know, asking questions of the pendulum. I feel the same way about that. And even when we do tarot, I know a lot of people do use them for yes and no answers, but general consensus is to not ask questions that require a yes or no answer, to ask questions that are very broad, because, you know, part of the purpose of tarot is to get a more reflective type answer, a more empowered answer than to get direct, quick messages. As I said, people tend to get really attached to wanting to know the outcome of things, and what that does is it takes us out of present moment. So this is why these types of cards do not resonate with me. I got this a very, very long time ago when I was in seeker mode and wanting to know answers, but again, that takes away from being and being present and trusting that what is for you won't be missed, instead of trying to force an outcome or trying to force a situation. And I'm only speaking from experience. And then when that doesn't happen, what that can create is a lot of suffering. So it's safe to say that this deck is going to be rehomed, but I did want to do a review. It's been sitting in my cupboard for months, years actually. I've only, as I said, used it a handful of times. And yeah, it's not really been beneficial to me. So I'm happy to rehome, but I did want to kind of do a little review on it, or flip through, I should say, before I did that. So I'm going to see if I can turn my camera down. Okay, so these are, they refer to this one as the purple. These are the angel cards. Let me just make this look all somewhat nice and pretty. Okay, so we've got listen to your intuition. I'm just going to flip through them. Oops. Just move this over. Oh. Okay, so I don't actually mind a lot of the cards in the angel cards, even though I don't necessarily resonate much with that concept, but I don't mind it. I mean, let go, I like that card a lot. So let's go into the timing cards. So the card stock is your usual, I would say, Hay House type stock. It's quite thick, a bit glossy. So there's not a lot of the timing cards, of course. And then we've got the yes or no. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Yes, no, choose a new direction. Okay, so that's a flip through of all the cards in their different sections. Let's see if we can pull some. I'll also show you how these shuffle, although doing them in these small little piles are a little bit interesting. So yeah, they do shuffle really well. I do like the way they shuffle. All right, let's pull some cards and see. What do we need to know right now? What is the message for this collective watching this video? Okay, I do like that. Abundance, if you believe. Now, for anyone watching this channel, and this is the first time you watch this channel, a lot of what we talk about in this space is unraveling from mind, i.e. unraveling from beliefs and programming. So this card here is, you know, if you believe. Yeah, that one's a bit interesting to me. But anyway, let's keep going. This is obviously personal perspective here. So we'll have abundance if you believe, which, you know, I mean, I guess what that could speak to, if you take the directness out of it in terms of concept, is where are your... And okay, so why I'm saying this is because obviously different people, different readers are going to use this differently. So I'm going to express this how I would read it if I were to use these cards. So this could speak to abundance being something that's available to us. However, we might have certain types of mindsets about abundance and about wealth that are holding us back from actually achieving it and attaining it, or allowing it to flow into our lives in whichever way that looks like, because it's going to look different for everybody, right? So let's get a timing card on this abundance. Take action. But so you see what I mean? So it's going, if you believe, but you got to take action. So, and then we've got not the right time and perfect timing. So I guess the premise of this is to just do one, or the purpose of this is just to pull one card, because these are kind of going against each other. But take action, but then it says not the right time, and then perfect timing. So let's pull that back and do it one more time and see if we can just get one card. So just give one card, please, for the abundance, if you believe. That one's the wrong way around. One card, please. So yeah, this would cheese me off if I'm going to be honest. Like, take action. All right, there we go. Abundance, take action if you believe. And then, you know what? In all fairness, I'm probably not even using these the way they're supposed to be used. So there's that, but there's no intention to use these. So we've got choose a new direction and no. So yeah, abundance, if you believe, take action. Then it says choose a new direction, no. So yeah, I just cannot, I mean, this, I guess it depends on the person using these cards, you know, it depends on what the question is. Obviously, this is very general, so we're going to get a very convoluted type of read here. But, you know, this could be about patience. This could be about querying into what your belief systems are, and then taking action from that understanding, and as in like what it is that's holding us back from abundance. But then it says no, choose new direction. So maybe the direction we were going in was not ideal, and we have to reflect on what our current mindset or patterns are, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying, is that I don't personally connect with these cards. So I said I've only used it a handful of times. I've tried shuffling them together. I've tried using them apart, and they just don't resonate with me personally. So I am definitely rehoming these. So yeah, I mean, please let me know in the comments. Like, let me know, hey, I actually love these cards. I use it all the time, and this is how I use it. Like, let's open up a conversation. If you do use it, let me know. If you use it for your reads and it's highly successful, let me know. If they're highly accurate, let me know. I personally just don't resonate with them, and so I'm going to give you an honest flip through and an honest perspective on that. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, or I hope that made sense. It might not make sense for everybody, or it might piss some people off, and that's okay too. But yeah, I'm just giving you my honest experience of it, my honest review, or I should say my honest flip through, because I haven't used it that often enough to give it a proper review. But yeah, that's just how we roll in this space. We try to be as authentic and honest as possible. So yeah, that is the Angel Answers deck by Radleigh Valentine. Again, let me know if, you know, how you've interacted with this deck, or what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I will be signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.